What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to a reaction video. And today we're going to be reacting to Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, Kill Count, the original one. If I sound a little groggy or anything, I just recently woke up, and I need to get a Creative Frights video out before I go stream for the last day of Retcon. So I'm going to do this. It's simple and easy to film real quick. So as always, link to the original video will be linked down in the description below. And you guys remember, I did not like this movie when I first saw it. When I reviewed it on the channel, I did not. I think it is one of the worst movies in the series. I don't know which one's worse, this or the next one in the franchise. I don't remember which one's worse, but let's go ahead and check out the kill.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James H. Janice, and today we're looking at Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, which really should have been titled Jason on a Boat. The last Friday movie
Really, he's right.
Came out in 1989, and in many ways this film is a milestone in the series. For instance, it's the first time Jason was played by a repeat actor, with Kane Hodder reprising the role.
Still the best part of the movie was Kane Hodder playing him.
Reluctant support of the series because it had the lowest box office yet, and also because the movies were getting kind of embarrassing. After this, they'd sell the property off to New Line, and Jason would lie dormant for 4 years before returning to the screen and going to hell. Jason Takes Manhattan is also the most ridiculous movie in the series so far. Jason for sure teleports all over the place now. The ghost of his younger self.
Matt Pat made a theory that explains all that away in this movie.
Hair metal music video sequences.
But
and really, the whole
I don't
thing
think
is
Jason
just a
has
mess.
the ability to
As a
teleport.
kid, I actually really liked this one, mostly because it was something different, and also because I really dug that Metropolis song in the opening credits. Now I feel ashamed about both of those opinions, so let's quickly move on to the kills.
Oh, okay.
The movie starts off with a montage of 80s New York, showing it to be
I
the
saw
place of our
Batman
worst
logo.
nightmares. A place of muggings and barrels of sewage and junkies. Hey guys, could we hold on that shot of the junkies shooting up for like 10 more minutes? Thank you. Yeah, just keep it rolling. That's what the people want to see. Anyway, if you're excited for Jason to get to all these charming locales, you'll have to wait over an hour because this movie's subtitle is just a dirty, dirty lie. Instead, we start right back at home on Crystal Lake, where pretty boy Jim Miller, God, he is really pretty, and his girlfriend Susie Donaldson are getting frisky on his boat. He spooks her with the tale of Jason before his anchor drags over an electric cable that brings Jason back to life from his New Blood resting place. He climbs aboard, and since Jimmy conveniently owns an exact replica of his hockey mask, axe mark and all, he suits up and is ready to kill for another 90 minutes. He misses the horny teens with a spear gun, but quickly makes up for it by sticking Jimmy in the gut with the gun itself. This kill actually always really confused me as a kid. I thought that those were fake organs on the gun, and that they were accidentally already there when he stabs Jimmy in the gut. Turns out that's just what spear guns look like. Either way, Jimmy dies up against the window, rubbing his bloody hand against it and leaving a mark.
I always thought, talking about that shot, yeah, it was always, I never thought it was guts like he did, but
menacingly slow stab I've ever seen. Like, she had time to write a will while he was bringing that thing down on her. He finally sticks it into a fake torso with very prominent fake nipples. Decent start to a Friday movie.
What?
If you like seeing Jason kill people on a boat, oh man, do we have the movie for you. With the setup kills out of the way, we wander into plot territory, where we meet the star of the show, Rennie. She's coming aboard this high school graduation.
I don't understand what this is like.
Awesome,
This,
even though her uncle Charles,
this
who's also
whole
a teacher,
thing is like a place going to New York and everything.
But her other teacher, Colleen, is adamant about it, so Rennie takes her pup Toby and
But
joins the rest of her graduating class, which is like a dozen people, I guess, including her boyfriend Sean, who has a hard time opening doors.
It was
His
the
dad is
lake,
the captain of the ship, and apparently
I don't
an
know.
admiral.
I don't
know
know
in what navy, but it doesn't matter. Let's get this ship on the road. Now, everyone knows, of course, that Crystal Lake is attached to the ocean or a river.
Oh yeah,
or some
he literally
body of
brings it
water
up.
that leads to New York City, right? So it makes total and complete sense when Jason just drifts into harbor and climbs aboard the SS teen victim. Yeah. It sets sail and Jason wastes no time finding his next victim, hair rocker JJ, who's jamming out in the bowels of the ship. A guitar to the face stops her rocking and her life. Don't worry, JJ, Jason saved you some embarrassment. Hair metal was on its way out. Thanks, Nirvana. As night descends, the rest of the ship is pretty poppin'. There's an underground boxing circuit where champion Julius reigns supreme. He's getting adored by these two ladies with big ol' 80s hair. They're both super stereotypical. The blonde Tamara is of course the bitchy prom queen.
Talking to the prom queen, Eva.
And the Asian chick, played by Kelly Hu, guess what she's worried about?
It's not that, it's just, you know, if we get caught, I could lose my science scholarship and everything.
Great character writing, top notch. While they're doing bumps of nose candy, Rennie is seeing images of childhood Jason that are hilariously cheesy. We don't get another kill until 30 minutes in, when
I
Jason
agree with
comes
that.
upon
Like
the
a lot of
boxing guy that Julius
all the
defeated earlier
Jason
and sticks
hallucination
a sauna
stuff
rock
in this
through his
movie.
chest. I don't know what I like more, the guy wriggling violently or the fact that his organs were apparently flammable. Also, that looked like a shitty cruise ship on the outside, but it's got a sauna on board? Sign me up. Then we have Tamara really leaning into the blonde bitch role by pushing Rennie into the water, where we get more cheesy child Jason, followed by some bloody sink water, and don't worry, even more cheesy kid Jason when he comes out of the mirror and has a gay old time choking Rennie. Seriously, that kid looks like he's having a blast. Good for him. You gotta make sure kids have enough playtime in their development, you know? Tamara solidifies her blonde bitch bona fides by blackmailing Charles with geeky Wayne and his video camera. And this doesn't really go anywhere because in the very next scene, Jason busts in on her after a shower, breaks apart her bathroom mirror, and then stabs her with a shard of the broken glass. I know she was a bitchy antagonist, but this kill always made me feel bad. Something about how sharp that glass looks, and also the way she's cowered up in that corner crying for mercy. Way to affect me emotionally, Jason Takes Manhattan. The ship heads into a storm, which is the
Can't tell me if
perfect
it's
time to amp up the
sarcastic or
kills,
not.
so Jason takes it to the bridge. First he kills Chief
The
Engineer
early kill
Jim
counts with
Carlson
James
with
is
a
like it's
harpoon
really
to the back
hard to.
multiple times.
I don't know.
Just
Especially
really
with
getting
his,
in there
his
and making
speed
sure the
talking
job's
too.
done. I do like the fact that this is shot from outside the bridge and is nearly silent. It's a nice touch. He then makes the captain go down with the ship by slitting Admiral Robertson's throat with a machete. This is one of the kills they do in choppy slow motion for some reason, maybe so we can enjoy this guy's acting. Oh, what? My throat? No. Sean finds the bodies, and after some understandable
That was
freaking
a
out,
decent little
seeing his
joke.
dad's dead body and all, he summons all the teens to the bridge to tell them there's a killer on board. Julius takes a leadership role, which leads to one of the few times in the series where people actually arm up and go after Jason, which, you know, is kind of cool. Their man-child hunt doesn't
Yeah,
seem
that
good
was
for
a little
Eva,
bit
though, who
unique.
wanders onto an 80s dance floor of death, where Jason teleports around the room multiple times before raising her into the air and strangling her to death, saving her from having to listen to any more
Again,
of that
Matt
shitty
Pat
80s
made
music.
it,
By the way, Kelly Hu is a pro. Her body looks lifeless AF when Jason drops her to the floor there. While on the hunt for Jason, we get one of those random non-Jason kills after nerdy Wayne loses his glasses and blindly shoots a random crew member to death. Sucks for this crew member. He's in a Jason movie and he doesn't even get killed by Jason. Also, Wayne, that's manslaughter, dude. Good luck defending yourself in a maritime court. Oh wait, you're probably not gonna have to worry about that since Jason shows up and tosses him into the ship's circuit board or whatever,
Jason got upset
resulting
'cause
in
he
an
stole his
immediate
kill.
electrical explosion in true Friday
That's
the
what
13th
happened
fashion.
there.
An artsy close-up on Wayne's hand as he dies almost tricks the audience into caring about him, but not really. I mean, he was a fucking nerd. Underdeveloped character
What?
Miles is the next guy to go. He climbs the mast of the ship to get away from Jason, but that doesn't help because, guys, did we mention that Jason can definitely teleport now? Because he does. He teleports right up the mast and tosses Miles down onto a weather vane, killing him. A lot of the kills in this movie were censored by the ratings board, just like with part 7, but I kind of like the way this one is shot. Jason then throws Julius overboard, but don't worry, he'll be back later on in the best scene of this movie. While Rennie gets attacked by Jason and hallucinates that swampy little boy version some more, Uncle Charles is trying to hunt down the deckhand who
Why
he
does
thinks is responsible for the murders. To be fair, the deckhand
hallucinations
is
look
not great
different
at making
every
himself look
time?
not
Like the
shady.
kid looks different every time.
But alas, Charles
Kinda
is proven wrong when
reminds
the
me of
deckhand
Crazy
stumbles
Ralph.
into view with an axe through his back. I'd say that's pretty conclusive evidence that he is not, in fact, the murderer. Good job, deckhand. The court of dead meat finds you not guilty. Just really dead. Oh yeah, also, you might remember there were a bunch of other kids. They were like white people dancing on the ship before. Apparently, they all drowned.
Oh, wait! I left the others in the restaurant.
There is no more restaurant.
I'm not gonna count those because who knows how many red shirts that was, but kind of unceremonious of the film to do that when they could have gotten a lot more fun kills instead. It is finally time, to abandon this lame-ass cruise ship. And remember, this is a full hour into the movie. The survivors get onto a lifeboat, rescuing Julius in the process, and row their asses for an entire day and night until they reach New York City, or rather alleyways in Vancouver, because that's all they could afford. Jason inexplicably follows them and has a cute moment with a billboard. Then Rennie gets kidnapped by those junkies and holy shit, forcefully drugged? Wow, Jason Takes Manhattan, you really went there. Jason shows up and saves her, first sticking a needle through Holmes's back when he's trying to force himself onto Rennie because might as well make that scene even more horrific with some attempted rape. Pretty bad when Jason's the good guy in the scene. Holmes's partner Jojo shows up and gets mad that Jason's on his turf, so he shoots him a couple of times before Jason slams his head into a pipe. The guy should have known. I'm sure everyone always told him he would die if he kept hitting that pipe. Just kidding, they weren't smoking crack, they were shooting up heroin. Rennie runs away, saved by
Okay,
Jason. Thanks,
that was
Jason.
so
Now it's finally time for that
over
awesome
the top,
scene
just
I
that
teased
line.
earlier. And for once, I'm not liking something ironically. Julius runs into Jason on a rooftop and decides to put his
This
boxing
is the
skills
best
to the
part
test.
of this
He then
movie.
proceeds
I
to
gotta.
punch Jason for over a minute straight. He just really gives it to him, jabbing him in the face, giving him a bunch of body blows over and over again across this rooftop. The scene is made awesome by the long shots, the total lack of music, and the fact that Kane Hodder is literally taking all these punches in real life. Julius finally gets tired and gives one badass final line.
Take your best shot. Motherfucker.
Before Jason obliges and KOs him with a single decapitating punch, putting a neat little button on this wonderful sequence. Best part of it all, he didn't even litter. Jason is one thoughtful tourist. At this point, I look at the runtime and shriek because there's still 25 minutes left of this movie? I don't know how, but let's do it. Okay, a friendly Irish cop tries to help out the remaining survivors, but gets ambushed by Jason, who drags him off into an alley and kills him off screen. Sad day, I'm sure that guy was just a week away from retirement. Rennie climbs over the seat in this very realistic cop car and first hits adult real Jason, and then slams into child fake Jason in his most hilarious appearance yet. This causes her to slam the car into a fiery mess, which explodes and kills Colleen. Man, another accidental death, this time at the hands of our protagonist. You better step it up, Jason, you're letting other people rack up kills in your movie. Rennie has a flashback, remembering how much of a dick Uncle Charles was and why she's having these hallucinations in the first place. So she runs off and Sean follows after pushing Charles into
Which
a pile
also
of
is a weird
Jason
thing
then
for this
chases
movie
Charles,
as well.
teleporting into the second story of a building and throwing him out of it, then picking him up and drowning him in a barrel of sewage. Take that, Uncle Charles. Your old-fashioned parenting method is definitely cause for you to be violently drowned in a septic liquid by a terrifying serial killer in a hockey mask. Better watch out, parents who spank your kids. Jason's coming for you next. With that, we have the final girl circuit beginning in earnest. Jason chases Rennie and Sean onto a subway where they try to kill him by knocking him onto the third rail. Yeah, like he's never been electrocuted before. Then we get one of the best shots of the entire series in one of the very few scenes they actually were able to shoot in New York. That is Jason Voorhees in the middle of actual Times Square. Despite how bad this movie is, there's no denying how awesome that image is. It's only cheapened a little bit by this hokey bit where Jason shows his face to some punks, causing them to run away in a very Scooby-Doo-like manner. Oh, also, this happens.
You a dead meat slime bag.
Hey, that's me again. They said the name. Rennie and Sean run into a diner, and after Jason follows them inside, a chef approaches Jason and gets thrown into a mirror. I didn't think that counted as a kill, but the internet is telling me it does, so fuck it, here's another death. But seriously, look at the size of that dude. You think he's gonna die from that? Bullshit. Rennie and Sean wind up in the sewers,
that dude
where
also
Film
goes
tries
in
sell us
to
an even
play
bigger crock of shit that Crystal Lake
Jason
supposed
and
to
Freddy
pass
vs.
his way to
Jason,
the
I do
Atlantic.
believe.
Toxic waste, son. The sewer floods out with this stuff every night at midnight.
Yeah, the sewer floods out with toxic waste every night at midnight. Okay. Jason then accosts this sewer worker and, much like the cop, drags him off screen to kill him with a wrench. Although this time we at least get this Hitchcockian silhouette of the kill. Rennie manages to fight back a little, splashing toxic waste into Jason's face, which causes him to rip his mask off and reveal a very dumb-looking face. Wish they had stuck with that gnarly face from part 7, but what are you gonna do? Jason still almost gets Rennie and Sean before the giant toxic waste flood starts barreling towards them, looking like The Shining, but with bullshit. It overcomes Jason and lights him on fire? What? And in the end, somehow reverts him back to his childlike form? Did it really happen? Is it another one of her delusions? Who the fuck cares? This entire shit show makes no fucking sense, and why the fuck was it 100 minutes long? Fuck this movie, let's do the numbers.
Dang, he was like straight up like, let's get this
20
over
people
with.
die in Jason Takes Manhattan. 18 of them from Jason and 2 of them from accidents, although Wayne would definitely go to prison for that shit. 15 of the victims are male, with only 5 of them female, the biggest gender imbalance of victims in one of these films yet. At an unreasonable runtime of 100 minutes, we come out to a death on average every 5 minutes, which is on the quicker side for the series. I'm gonna give the golden chainsaw to Julius because it's such a great moment in the series, and the actor really sells
that would be mine as well.
Lena's death has a lot to choose from, but since I didn't even think he was killed, I have to give it to the diner chef. Fun fact though, that actor, Ken Kirzinger, would end up replacing Hodder as Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. And that's it. Released in 1989,
brings it up.
Friday
I
the
didn't think
13th
that.
Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Maybe the worst film in the series. Wait, what's that? We're doing Jason Goes to Hell next? Join me next week for what may be the worst film in the series. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thank you guys for watching the kill count for Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. What do you guys think of this movie? Oh, this movie's a fucking mess. I know a lot of it was because of budget issues, but some of those decisions didn't have to do with money. I'm talking about little boy Jason laying on the floor of a sewer in his underwear. That's not a money issue, that's a thinking issue. See you next week in hell.
This
Water. But her other
reaction. Guys, that was enjoyable. I always like looking back at the kill counts and everything, and as soon as I get caught up with them, like, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but as soon as I do, like, I will react to the new ones as they come out instead of watching them ahead of time. There's still a handful of kill counts I haven't seen, like, because they were moved to movies I want to watch. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction nonetheless, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!